Hello everybody, Zido here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to master chamber on Icebox. In my opinion, this is one of his most OP maps, very easy to carry your team on, and yeah, let's just get straight into the video. Now the first thing I want to talk about is the pistol buy. Chamber recently got nerfed, and there were a lot of minor changes, but the two major changes was the radius of the TP, almost 2 times smaller, and the actual price of the headhunter bullets, which is 150 instead of 100. Now this affects the pistol buys because obviously you can't buy as many bullets, and a lot of people have switched up. It's divided the community a bit. But the 3 different types of buys you should be doing, I use all 3, but honestly I switch it up depending on the map, how I'm feeling. But you should always either be buying a trip, 4 headhunter bullets, a ghost and a trip, or just a deagle. Now when you are playing chamber on defense Icebox, I don't care what you say, you are always going to put your trip in kitchen. Now you don't want to put it in this corner. I see a lot of people do it because you can actually come up from here and here and you can bypass it. Put in the open, everyone can see it like that. Nice and easy. I don't care what you say. If you have a sage, a sage, killjoy, or cypher, they can use their utility elsewhere. Putting your trip in the kitchen is where you're going to get the most value. Don't listen to anyone else. Now we're going to be going to the A site, it's just basically Chamber's playground. If you look at this, man, it is so annoying to execute onto the site. There are so many different angles you have to clear, so many different levels of elevation. It's honestly just a nightmare. And on an agent like Chamber, you can just ruin someone's day on the enemy team. Now the first type of angles I'm going to be talking about is aggressive angles. So some examples of aggressive angles, and what I mean by this is when you get into their territory and get hold an aggressive angle and get a kill and TP out, get numbers advantage nice and early, and get that first blood. So one thing I like to do on pistol, by the way, you should always have your anchor trip here. I don't know if I mentioned this, but if you look in the minimap, the radius, it just covers everything, super safe, and yeah. One thing I like to do on a pistol, I usually buy a deagle on this map, or the bullets. As soon as the barrier goes down, the barrier's right here. I like to jump on it, jump down here, hold this angle, sometimes peek, maybe hold this sometimes, shoot like 3 shots max and TP out. And usually only have to body shot twice on a pistol to get a kill, or you can headshot and get a free kill and TP out. You can catch a lot of people off guard here because a lot of people don't really expect you pushing up. They'll have like their knife or utility out. And yeah, another example of a really aggressive angle I like to hold is instantly when the body goes down, jump onto pipes. I was meant to put it here, so once again, another very good spot. You can either peek belt, or you can just hold this tight angle. You can get a lot of kills when people go on the zip line, or going bell, or even under. A very underrated spot. Once again, a lot of people do not clear that angle. And just make sure to be quick, because if you make noise and they're nearby, they can actually hear it. It's quite a loud noise when you jump on pipes. But yeah. But one thing I do want to mention, when you are playing these aggressive angles, once you get into the higher ranks, or if you are, a lot of people play Sova on this map, and when people execute the A site, Sovas do this one dart that lands right here, like around right here. And what this dart does, and why it's so good, is it just clears completely. It clears all the close angles if anyone's holding an aggressive angle. And now, if you are playing chamber on defense, and their Sova is constantly doing this, you either want to get your jet to smoke the trip, or you want someone to come up and destroy the trip for you. Not the trip, sorry, the dart. Because if you get revealed by that dart, you can either get wallbanged to death, or, well, I mean, you already know what's going to happen if you get revealed by, if you get scanned, sorry, it's just, you're basically dead. But, yeah. Another, example, of an aggressive angle, you can hold right here. It is a bit more risky because the TP is a bit more open, but it's good to switch it up. You can hold here, go for a TP. You can either sit on the top one or one step, and then just TP out. And those are the main type of aggressive angles I use. I'm going to talk about AWP angles now, which do include aggressive angles. But when I use an operator, which you always, whenever you can, well, not like whenever you can, but whenever you can afford an operator and you're not near your ultimate, you should always buy an AWP on defense chamber. It's literally what his kit is designed for. When I play with an operator, in general, I like to play double TP setups because, for example, this is a really common one I like to do. I like to hold the spot, try and get one. Even if I don't get one, TP out. So now when you TP out, you give the enemy team a false sense of hope, because majority of the times when a chamber TPs out, he TPs to a safe spot. So now when people hear or see you TP out, they will just come instantly up. They won't worry about the chamber anymore. And when you've TP'd here, you can just peek belt and get another free kill, even a 2, bro. This thing is like it's like as fast as a Marshall. It's crazy. And then you can just jump down here or jump down there, wherever. And you can just completely abuse that. Another double TP setup I like to do. This one's a bit more aggressive. I put my TP either here or here. And as soon as the barrier goes down, I like to go into pipes. You need someone to destroy that dart, by the way. Sorry, not destroy that dart. Either destroy that dart or hold belt. Could get a kill, do that. Same thing about the false sense of hope. Hold that. You can do this with an operator or an AWP, by the way. If the team is showing a lot of belt presence, if Jet is updrafting onto that box and they're just showing a lot of presence, you can either just simply hold from here, hold rafters, get a kill. Or one thing I like to do, I like to switch it up. I like to sit. Sorry, I was meant to put my TV here. Sit on this high box, hold that. That's a good angle as well. And another angle you can do is sit behind Gen. This one is a bit more passive. You can sit behind Gen, hold right here. This is a pretty good one as well. Get a kill, TP out. I'm going to talk about passive angles more. And what I mean by passive angles is TP setups where you're like playing more on site. It's not always that you're going to play retake, but sometimes, you know, teams are starting to read you on getting really aggressive and you just want to switch it up. These are some examples of really good passive setups you can do. A really good spot to sit, if you put your TP right to the right of the box so they can't see it, and you just hold this, or this, you can see. That's a really good angle to hold. You can obviously play behind Gen, hold this. You can play backside right here, play around with the TP, play off utility, team utility, TP, get one out. Another passive spot I like to hold, I like to put my TP here and either sit here holding that or holding that, TP out like that. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up for angles. But the last type of angle I want to talk about is an eco angle. So this is like types of setups you would do when you're on a low economy round where you'd only have like at maximum sidearms, your chamber bullets, or like a shotgun or something, maybe an SMG. Shotguns are really OP on chamber. So you can come, one really good spot to hold with like a shotgun or something, you can hold right here. I mean, this one's pretty obvious, but I don't see a lot of people doing it. You can either hold this, hold the people above. You can put your TP behind the box, and you can either play Gen, or you can play behind the box, play off audio cues, kill someone, you can jump. You can literally just swing out like a madman, get kills. And one last one you can do is, I mean, I wouldn't recommend this one too much. You can play off audio, like I said again, play here, or you could even play like right here as well. Switch it up, go a bit more behind pipe so they don't see you instantly. Play like this. That pretty much sums it for the A site, but I'm going to move on to middle now. In my opinion, you shouldn't really be playing middle as chamber unless you have an AWP, and if they're like showing a lot of mid presence. One TP setup I really like to do So the barrier is right here, obviously. As soon as the barrier goes down, come over here, hold this with an AWP. Hold, if you don't see anyone, hold this, but if you do encounter someone, shoot your shot, and then reposition here, add boiler, and just hold mid like this. This is a really good one. Once again, if they are showing a lot of mid presence, and I don't have an operator on my ultimate, sometimes I just like to, as soon as the barrier goes down, slow walk down kitchen, place the TP. Just clear my angles nice and slow. And get one and then TP out. You can do the same thing over here as well. Slow walk down. The TP here. Hold it like that. And that's pretty much it for mid. Shouldn't really be playing here too much, but it is always good to switch it up. We're going to move on to the B site now. So this is a bit more of a tricky site because, but one thing I do want to say is, this is the same thing as mid. You should always be trying to play at the A site because on B, a lot of times in your team comps, you have a Viper. And if your Viper has half a brain, she is literally so OP on this site. She can do her mollies and her orb to completely deny and stall the plant. She can have really OP walls. She could have a one-way orb. She could literally have anything. So the only time I would play B as chamber is either if I don't have a Viper or they've just been rushing B every round and winning. So I'm going to talk about the aggressive angles like I said before. Obviously you can TP pre-round without the cooldown and get up here. The border's right here. I like to put my TP right here. I can jump on box. Kill the jet updrafting or play here. Sometimes just hold it like this. Hold someone pushing out a garage. Now there is actually a bit of a glitch with this TP, which is kind of OP. So with the chamber TP, you actually aren't well, you can't have different levels of elevation to the TP. But with this TP, for some reason, you can actually jump down, and if you're not crouched, so look, if I'm crouched, it doesn't work, but if you're not crouched, you can actually jump down. I'd have a phantom for this. Make sure you're not an insta-croucher, hit kills, and TP out. That is a very good TP. Another aggressive angle you could hold is just simply like right here. You can always switch it up, hold it like that. Or hold it like that. Though you have to be very careful if they are pushing. And whenever you feel like you're gonna die, TP out. Some aggressive pushes I like to do, so the barrier's like right here. Maybe get some utility thrown at the B main, and you could push garage. Like, these aren't like the best ideas, but you just want to be creative as a chamber. Always be unpredictable, because that's what makes a really good chamber. I'm going to be talking about Awping now. Awping is pretty good on the B site. Like I said before, depending on where you're playing, you either want to put your anchor here or here. So a pretty common spot to AWP is on top of yellow. You have to put your TP a bit to the right. You can either hold just the push out, you can hold garage, you can even, if the jets or the rays is always satchelating or updrafting up, you can hold to kill the jet or rays. Another spot you can hold with an AWP is here. This is a pretty good spot as well. Just play off audio, peek, kill one like that. You can play, like I said before, about the false sense of hope. You can have like a double TP set up like this. Like I said before, same thing. TP out. They'll think you've TP'd out, but you can re-peek, get another one, get another one. You know how it goes with the operator, man. Even with the, it's even better with the chamber orb, bro. This thing isn't like a machine gun. It is crazy how fast it shoots. Very broken still, in my opinion. But I'm going to talk about more passive angles now. So if you're holding more passive angles, you're either playing yellow, like I said before, or you could play back here, play off audio once again. Or another passive angle you could hold is like above here. You could hold this with an AWP too. You could just hold this. Make sure someone's watching your mid though. You could be AWPing snowman, but I highly recommend that I would only play here unless you're like really getting fucked up, but if like you're having a bad game and you're getting shit on just playing aggressive, you can just play back here. You don't even have to AWP, you can rifle. Now if you are AWPing, I do recommend putting your second TP here, because when you're here and they have their Viper wall up or their smokes, whatever, you can wallbang the post plant and you can actually jump up on here and kill the people on top of this box. A lot of people don't realize that. That is a good TP setup. And I'm going to talk about some eco angles quickly. Obviously, shotguns, sidearms, SMGs, cheaper buys. You can hold here with the judge. You can sit behind this box. You have to be crouched though. And I'd say the last eco spot you could probably sit is right here as well. If you play off auto, you can jump, be a weirdo, be a maniac, TP out, and yeah. That pretty much sums it up for defense. We're going to move on to attack now. Okay, so moving on to attack, we're going to talk about the pistol buys and the trips. Pistol buys, same thing. 4 bullets, trip, ghost trip, or deagle. Now, if you are, like I said, this map, on maps like Breeze and Icebox, you just can't completely rely on your trip protecting you. But using these trips will lots of times catch the flankers, but like I said, it will never have a 100% success rate because there's like jets that can smoke it off, vipers that can orbit, and yeah. If we're just straight up executing A, one thing I like to do,
that's a good spot.
I like to put it there, because if you come up here, a lot of people think they're sneaky. You can't jump over it. And if you go on the barrels and jump, you'll get caught by it too. But you always want to switch it up. You could put it under. This one's a bit more like element of surprise. They don't like expect it actually being under. You could put it there. You could put it, let's say if I'm like lurking B, I could put one mid. Like this. If you're executing B, you could put one behind the box. Or like the barriers right there. Put one there too. If you're, I mean, those are like basically the only trips you can do. You can get creative, like I said. You can't like, if you're always using this one, this is probably the best one. If the enemy team has half a brain, they're gonna figure out how to counter it. So just try and switch up the trips. You can get creative. Try and do what you can. But yeah, we're going to be talking, one thing I want to talk about is the purpose of Chamber on attack. Now, Chamber's utility, I know on defense, he is basically a duelist, but on attack, he's a bit different. You have to be more, he's not like Jet where you can just dash in. You have to be strategical about your TPs, which makes him more of like a Cypher Killjoy playstyle. It is okay to sometimes execute sight with your teammates, but majority of the times you want to be either A, lurking, or B, holding flank. Now, I'm going to talk about holding flank first, because like I said before, you can't always rely on your trip. If I see the team is flanking a lot, I like to give them the treatment. I know it's cringe, but if you want to rank up, this is how you gotta do it. You can sit and spawn, hold that, hold B. You can literally sit, the spawn is so big. You can even be so annoying that you sit on the bar. You can hold people pushing down mid. You could hold B. Let's say, like I said, you're holding the B push. You can sit here and have a trip mid, maybe a bit more up. You could be sitting right here, holding mid, or with an AWP. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, there's a lot. You can even like play off your trip actually. I forgot about this one. Like if they're just constantly like smoking a trip, you can play off it. As soon as they're about to like use their stuff against it, you can just swing and kill them. But yeah, lurking, I mean holding flank, very good thing to do on Chamber. Another thing I want to talk about is lurking. Now if you're lurking on Chamber, you always want to have an anger trip. For example, if my team's going A, I'll put my trip there. I mean not my trip, my TP there. I'll lurk up mid. And see, this is where Chamber's TP actually gives value. So I could lurk up here. You won't be able to always do it. And I would go for 2 kills, catch people off guard, and then I come back and TP out. Place my TP after I get 2 kills, like that. Because the TP noise makes sound. Not just for you, for the enemy. So you want to place it after you get the 2 kills and get out of there. See, if you were jet in middle there, you can't do what you just did with chamber. That's why chamber's utility offers a lot more value if you do lurking or holding in spawn. Because like I said, at most, like the most value you could get with chamber is just like pushing in, having a TP down, like pushing in and just TPing out. But like I said, there are so many other agents in this game that could help you get onto site way better. If you were playing chamber and you're not like Awping or something, you should always either be doing one of those two. If you are lurking A, I would suggest, like, it depends like on what type of team you're playing. Like if they're insta rotating, you can fake sites, lurk up sites. But like, let's say my team is going B, I would always lurk through maze and try and get a pick. So you could obviously put one, like your anchor right there. Could kill a few right here, but I don't even know, like it depends if you want to actually get back. You could get a few kills here and then say, hey team, I have A. You could sit and spawn or something, do something cringe, and that's giving your team A for free. If you're lurking B, I would put my anchor TP right here, and I would just completely forget yellow. And if you're lurking B, you should try and get a kill. There's usually someone playing around here orange or in kitchen holding mid, and if not, you could just push up even more and give your team more info. But if you're lurking mid, like I said, I would, if they don't have a chamber, you could go up kitchen. That's also a pretty good spot, but a lot of people play chamber. If you have like a Viper coming up as well, so you could orbit, or wherever they placed it, you could walk past it, but that requires some teammates that actually want to work together. Like I said, you could go under, and yeah, that pretty much sums it up for lurking. It just really matters like on like what type of team you're versing. But one thing I do want to talk about is post plant lurking, like late lurking. So if my team has just planted A, one thing I really like to do, so this is an example on A, I will play mid, I will walk up mid, put my TP there. As they're retaking the site, like 10-20 seconds after the bomb's been planted, same thing as just looking at before, getting 2 picks, and coming back, TPing to main. The people retaking will be really worried about mid, but you TP'd main, safe with your team, and that is a really good way to stop a retake. Same thing on B, going through mid. I'd put my TP like right here where the TP goes down. Could play mid. You could actually swing kill someone just rotating to B, or you could come up a little further, and it like obviously the bomb would be planned default, kill the people that are pushing up, and TP back. But if I was playing a bit more aggressive like that, I'd probably have my TP a bit closer, like that. And that's pretty much it for late lurking. The chamber is probably one of the best agents to late lurk on. I always recommend doing. But the last thing I want to talk about, actually 2 more things, sorry, is Awping and post plant. So obviously Awping on chamber on attack is very viable because of his TPs. If you are Awping on attack, you either want to do 2 things. You want to hold like angles, hold flanks or whatever, or you want to like play aggressive with it. So if you have the chamber op or your own operator, let's say we're hitting A. If I put my TP up, I can come to my team, hey, I'm holding rafters, and you could, because obviously this is a very common spot, people will peek to get a kill, and kill people there, or you could just clear all the close angles. But you just got to communicate with your team, it's pretty important. You could, like, for example, hold mid. A lot of people just like to like jump peek mid and stuff. Can do a lot of damage with the chamber op. You could sit and spawn, like I said before, do the cringe stuff. But yeah, for the B side, obviously a lot more OP with an AWP because Look at how long this range is. You could jump peek. If you're executing B, you could jump peek B, get the AWPer straight away. You could come up a little more. Your team would use utility to clear yellow. And then you could help your Viper plant or Sage or whoever it is. Could hold Snowman. If there's a Viper wall, you could hold above. Or anyone that might push through the wall. And if you're playing post plant on B, and you aren't, like, if teams are starting to catch on to you late lurking, you could literally just play post plant with an AWP. Obviously, hold an angle. Like, it's pretty simple, like I said before. Nothing too crazy about this. Try and get 1 or 2 and TP out. Same thing on A. If you are AWPing and you're playing post plant, I recommend that your team plant either right here or right here. I just don't think default is a good plant spot. One double TP I like to do is nest and belt. So if I'm holding this and like it's a 1v1 or in any scenario, get one or get him off the bomb, TP out, and re-peek it and kill him or whoever's on the bomb again. But yeah, that basically sums it up. If you follow all my tips, if you make sure you're creative, you're switching it up, you're unpredictable, you're thinking about what you're doing, I guarantee you will rank up. Sorry for the voice crack. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And leave a comment as well. And if you want, give me recommendations on videos to do. If you guys want a different map or just any other Valorant content, let me know. I will be responding to all comments. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later.